So, what is up, guys? I got your boy Stingren here today, and today we're back with some Aether Gazer news and updates for you guys here today. Of course, we know this stuff is coming out because we have a lot to really talk about, and that is going to be about our girl in the middle, Athena. We're giving our overview and, of course, the introduction of her and Heimdall. But this is going to be the background for chapter 11. Again, I really do love these backgrounds for like the story updates or even the event sequences. I don't know, I just really love the updates. Like, well, I got my boy Oceanus at the side there. I'm gonna do a different video for him at some point when it becomes close to his release date. But Oceanus is over there, he's chilling, he's vibing. We got Hades over there to the right, and of course we got Athena. Of course we got our puppets over there as well. So really cool artwork here. I love how Aether Gazer does art. I've already praised Aether Gazer for his artwork before, but it's a really good art. I really do love how Oceanus looks. He looks epic as fuck here, like honestly. But anyway, of course, as you know, October 10th is when we're gonna be getting all of this stuff. So October 10th is where we're getting all the information, we're getting all the events, all the stuff like that. We don't know what's entirely coming just yet. We're probably gonna get like a maintenance announcement probably tomorrow. I want to say the 8th is when we probably will get the maintenance announcement, and then probably Aether Gazer will probably update its website to tell you everything that's coming. Of course, we already know the Omega Hazard Zone's coming, but of course we have to see what other else's thing is coming as well. So there's that. So now let's go ahead and talk about our character spotlight, and that is going to be Athena. I'm already on her page because we can talk about her. But anyway, Athena is a interesting character that relies on a rhythm-based mechanic for DPSing when she enters her harmonic state, which is a pretty interesting way to play the character because it's not about just quickly mashing the attack button. It's also time the presses that will continuously get builders, continuously give her harmonic stacks that will continuously make her attacks do a little bit more damage. So it's actually really cool. As you can see here, this is what she is capable of. Her basic attack is kind of her bread and butter because it does have a lot of utilization with her kit, as you can see here. So anyway, of course, she just basically attacks with her greatsword, dealing a total of close to 690% of physical damage. Now, the really good thing about Athena, I really do want to stress this now, is that she's probably going to be the best physical DPS that we have for a while because there's not really too many units out there that are just pure physical. Most of our meta units in the game are bounded by some sort of element. So if we have like Thunder DPS, we have Tsukuyomi. If we have Wind, we have Osiris. We have Shadow, we have Hades and Hell. Light, I think, well, we don't really have one for Light, do we? Well, yeah, most of our meta picks are not Light, huh? Not Light. For Ice, we could say Scotty still. Scotty's still pretty good. She's in the good tier. She's not like meta until later. Obviously, she's crushing it right now in CN. But let me see. Fire, we could say Kagu. We could say Kagasuchi could be fine, but I don't know if he's... Yeah, I think he's probably in a good category too. I think he's like meta for fire. He's not as explosive as the other units that I just mentioned. And then Osiris is only going to get better later on, so that's kind of the thing there. But anyway, if you do really need a physical team, if you're not running like, you know, Bazimo or some other unit like Janae maybe, then this is going to be a good unit for you. But there are going to be some stipulations if you want to build Athena, and of course I will talk about that in this video. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about it. So as I said before, she continues to attack with her greatsword, dealing a maximum close to 690% of physical damage. Not bad. Here's our passive right here. This is the unique thing that makes her work. So when she's in Sound Edge, she will activate Harmonic Position. After each basic attack, where casting an attack at the right time will result in a success. So if you don't know how Athena plays, basically when Athena enters this state, there's going to be a little bar with a little number, and there's going to be a little gray spot that's going to be the key time to do your basics or anything else that makes that stack go up. That's essentially the way that you play it. You do it as much as you can while the stack builds up over time, and then of course when it starts to go down, then you just kind of just do what you got to do. But from there on, that's typically the way to go. That's the way to go. So let's talk about the bonuses of her passive being activated, right? So basically, every single time that Athena produces a basic attack while she's in this state, she will produce a sonic boom. This sonic boom will gradually increase in damage, peaking all the way up to close to 500% of AoE physical damage based on the amount of the harmony stacks of a modulus of 7. Basically, it's basically mean of a factor of 7. I think it's like every 7 or so stacks you get, the attacks get stronger. And this, of course, is considered basic attack damage. This is, again, going to tie into her ult, because it's really a thing that really makes her sell. So, yeah. Next up is, from each of the time of the harmonic position until the rhythm bar ends, she will obtain super armor, which means she will no longer stagger when being hit, which means you can always get your basics off continuously without interruption. That's very good. And skills that trigger harmonic position will not interrupt the basic attack sequence. And when in Divine Grace, when not in sound, then she will obtain Divine Grace stacks when hit. She does actually gain a lot of DG fairly fast. I think her DG stacks are pretty quick. I think it's like 10 per attack, and I think it's 9 on the 4th hit, I believe. So pretty good on the DG manipulation for her. So she doesn't really have any too much of a problem, but she's not really focused on her DG, as you can see here. None of her skills are really using the DG anyway, but yeah, she could have been Trace, honestly. Anyway, so let's talk about her first skill. Her first skill is 800% physical move, a maximum 1600, and when harmony stacks are of multiples of 3, skill 1 will deal a maximum of 2000% physical damage and restore 50% of HP to self. This is really good because it's self heal. It's a self heal that can actually deal for quite a lot, because obviously it's 50% of damage, so she's going to be able to heal quite a bit. So it's actually going to be able to heal her pretty much close to max every single time if you have her decently invested. So pretty good. During Sound Edge state, in triggering successful harmonic position with skill 1, the damage will be increased by an additional 12%. So that's another thing that's going to be a part of her kit as well. Skill 2 is deals a max of 2400 physical damage. When harmony stacks are multiples of 5, skill 2 will deal 1500% or a max of 3000% physical damage during and inflicting the armor break status, increasing their defense by 20% for 6 seconds. I couldn't read that for a second. What am I doing? Anyway, this is really good. Now, one thing I really gotta gloss over about Athena is while she's not meta, she comes with a lot. She comes with a certain type of benefit for certain teams that is good, but we'll talk about that for just a moment. But she comes with the type of thing that is pretty good. Like, honestly, like, she got a self-heal, she's got defense break, she's got a pretty unique rhythm playstyle, so that means it's not like really about stress or being sweaty with her. Like, there's some good selling points about Athena, honestly. Anyway, skill 3. Available for casting when Divine Grace is full. She will do an attack that has 1200 AoE physical damage and enter the Sound Edge state, while resetting skill 1, skill 2 skill cooldown, which is amazing, and enhancing the skill 3. When in Sound Edge state, she will consume 3 Divine Grace every 0.75 seconds. When Divine Grace reaches 0, exit Sound Edge state, and skill on cool D, which is only 7 seconds, so that's not really a problem. During Sound Edge state, skill 1, skill 2, and skill 2 will also activate harmonic precision, which of course, every successive harmonic precision will increase the harmony stacks by 1, and not imitating harmony stacks in 7 seconds or exiting sound state will reduce the harmony stacks to 0, and the max harmony stacks is 105, which is a lot. It means you can really keep that going for a long time, be able to really time her DPS. And the enhanced version is going to be a max of 2880 physical damage. When harmony stacks are multiples of 7, enhanced skill tree will deal a max of 3600 physical damage. And every harmony stack increasing its damage by an additional 1%, so you can get really high if you really build it up. Enhanced skill tree has a 12-second CD, and triggering successful harmonic position increases its attack by another 12%. So pretty good all things considered. And this is her dodge skill. She does have a special dodge, so dodge will not interrupt her basic attack sequence, which is good. Let me see. Eternity dodge will trigger the dodge effect and reset the current harmonic rhythm bar, and it will do a small AoE damage and inflict the stun status. This of course is considered skill damage. So again, what we have to digest here with Athena, just by the basic kit of what she has, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good basic kit overall. It is fairly unique because she just comes a lot with every single skill. Now it's just like DPS. She's DPS with benefits, essentially. So you just want to really have to time the uses of her skills to get really good optimal use of her. Make sure you are kind of just paying attention to the stacks. But this does change if you get her Functor, just letting you know. Here we go. So her ultimate, this is self-ultimate. Her self-divine grace stacks will increase the max, resetting harmony stacks, and she will enter Sound Edge state, which is good. Wherever successful harmonization will be triggered by basic attacks will produce a sonic boom, of course, and increases the team's basic attack damage by 20% for a max of 60% for 10 seconds. When enemies are infected with sun status, attain a set amount of ultimate charge. Now, this is an interesting ult. It's an interesting ult because, again, it plays into her playstyle. But when we really look at units that have basic attacks as a preferred, there's not too many units out there that really just love spamming basics. Most usually like spamming their skills. There are a few units that can get away with it, like Hades, for example, if you're DG manipulating. So you are going to be wanting to use your basics to get it to the respective numbers. But once you get out of it, you're basically going to be doing her, her enhanced skill mode. You're going to be doing her ult with Anurios or something. So it's really just for her, I feel like. Outside of Hades, I can't really think of too many units right now that really want that basic attack buff. If her enhanced like dual mode for Hades, when she brings both the puppets out and you get the right amount of stacks of your DG and everything, and you maintain that beautifully, if it was basic attack damage, then that would be busted. That would just be essentially 120% damage you can give to the basics, because if you get a max of 60 due to the ult, and then you get the extra 60% from the Anuros buff because of the team ult, could do a lot of damage. I mean, I don't know if it's enough to beat Hera. I don't think it is, honestly, but yeah, could be a thing. But I think it's really just for her. So here we go. So her ult, for it to actually deal damage, you have to actually pair her up with a Hera. Now, I don't know if you really want to build a Hera just for her. That's a thing. I mean, they are both Olympus, so that's a thing, so that's fine. But a Hera isn't really that good, so it's a little you know what I mean? You have to kind of find a decent enough setup for her. I don't really recommend you invest super deep into getting like a Hera's Functor or anything. But yeah. Anyway, so basically for it to now deal damage, you have to pair up the Hera because now it deals this much amount of damage. And basically the buff of the team basic attack gets a little bit better because she does have a gather effect, and it increases it by +1 of the ultimate skill level. So basically the higher you can get her skill level, which is a max I believe of 35, it basically give you a 55%. It's a little weaker than this one, but it lasts just a tiny bit longer. So could be good if you do go further investing in her. I think you need at bare minimum SSS. I think you need SSS for the ultimate level up, either close to Omega or close to SSS. I can't remember off the top of my head for the Transcendence boards, but if you want the level 45 of the ultimate, then it's gonna take some investing. So there's that. Now let's talk about her Aether codes. Her Aether codes are of the following: Skill 1's HP reduction, HP restoration effect is increased, increases its healing effectiveness by 1%. The armor break effect is boosted by another 0.5%, and whenever she enters Sound Edge, her harmony stacks are set to 35. Now this is a very good one if you do not plan to get her Functor, but I want to let you guys know something. You have to get her Functor. That's the thing. Athena is one of those units that, yes, looks great on paper, but she suffers greatly from her own gimmick because she has to be in certain divisibles of her stack. So getting her Functor really helps with that playstyle, and allows her to be a lot more aggressive instead of being more so on a patient DPS end. So it does help a lot with the numbers. So if you don't really have her with Functor, or you want to use her as an AI bot, which could be fine, honestly, I think that could potentially be a thing because she does have a defense break at least. You could use this as well just for further defense crippling, but other than that, if you are going to be main DPSing her, I do want to talk about the blue node. But anyway, so red is, while teammates are in super armor, she gets a 20% damage reduction effect. Not bad. The team gets a 20% damage reduction, which is not bad. That's pretty good. Dodge damage effects increased by 100%. Failure to inflict stun will generate a set amount of ultimate charge. The extra damage from dodging is good. After enemies take damage from sonic boom, The average taken from Sonic Boom is increased by 12% and lasts 5 seconds, and each stacking refreshing duration for a max of 9 stacks. Now this is really good for obviously the Sonic Boom follow-ups, what she does when she's in her stack. It give a lot of bad damage to the effect, but again, I don't really recommend running mono red. Best would be yellow or this blue one here, which is harmonic position will now have perfect triggers on perfect or successful perfect triggers. Skill damage will increase by 12%. Each successful perfect harmonic position will generate 1 divine grace, and when harmony stacks are if not less than 7, which again if it's lower than 7, she gets a 12% attack boost. All this effect is a cumulative, by the way, so it stays. When harmony stacks is less than 14, physical damage increases by 15%, and when harmony stacks is less than 21, melee damage increases by 18. So 3 effective boosts to her own DPS just out of the gate whenever she's in her harmony stack mode is pretty darn insane. That's a lot of buff for her. And then if you compare her, I mean, if you not compare, but if you combine her with the new Hera, obviously that most of us are gonna do, this is a lot of damage she can put out there. I'm just letting you know she can hit pretty hard. So anyway, let's go to her signature functor, because it's a very, very important part of her kit, and we have to talk about its relevance. So here it is right here for Athena. When equipped to S Athena, enhance the Sound Edge state, which is good, she needs that. Sound Edge, it now consumes 3 divine grace per 0.5 seconds, and of course it does add a little bit more for each transcendence. Sonic Boom's damage is increased by 3% per transcendence, while in Sound Edge state, after hitting enemies with 5 successive harmonic position triggered by basic attacks will enter the perfect harmony state, which lasts for 7 seconds. During perfect harmony state, she will obtain super armor, and every basic attack skill will be considered as a perfect harmonic position, while harmony stacks are will be considered as 3, 5 of 7 simultaneously. So basically, this is basically why she's wanting to have her functor, because as I said before, for her to unlock her specific skills, she has to be in certain divisibles. But when she's in this special mode, the perfect harmony state, all her skills will be enhanced just out of the gate, which means you don't have to worry about getting it to the divisible of 3, the divisible of 5, or the divisible of 7. So this means you just simply get in, and then you can hit to their state, and then you can just start popping off your skills at the corrective times. Of course, you still want to maintain that stack, and you want to time her attacks at the best, of course, times. So I think it's worth it, honestly, very, very much so, to get this. I think this is a very, very, very good investment that you want to get into. So there's that. Definitely something that you want to look into, and you want to actually get in for your Athena. Now, the question is, should you pull Athena? Now, a good friend of mine on the main chord harmony would tell me to say yes. I'm mentioning him by specifics because he's a very big Athena fan. He's like probably one of the #1 Athena fans in the server. So gotta shout out my boy. But anyway, but if you want my honest opinion, she's perfectly fine to skip if you don't really want to invest in her. For physical DPSs, she's probably one of the better ones that we'll have for a minute. I mean, there is some other ones that do come in the future, of course, but if you want to invest in a pretty good team when it comes to physical units only, she is there. She's an option for you. So, but if you are gonna pull for Athena, I do think the best you want to give her for her to at least be considered good is you either go S level 3 Functor or you go SS level 1 Functor. It's either one of the other. If you have some spare Transcendence crystals, then maybe you can go S level 3, and then you can get that extra benefit for the effect. But if you want to just use her at just a regular, like, decent enough level to where she can handle all forms of content, then I would say SS with Functor is probably where you want to stop. Some people were arguing for triple S with Functor. I don't think she needs triple S. I think it's completely fine. I don't think the extra levels and sigils really don't matter for her as well. So there's that. So yeah. Next up, we're going to be talking about the A rank. And of course, this thing never likes to say where my locations are. So I got to go down and scroll just a little bit for this character. And here she is right here, Heimdall. Now, Heimdall is a bit of a good character, actually. This is because she is someone that's gonna really want to talk about. But anyway, let's get right into it. So of course her basic attack is a 350% light damage attacking skill. She has the Ring of Reason, which is her main attacking weapon, which is it just gives her 3 energy per second automatically, which is good. The Ring of Reason, which summons on the enemy side, and basically is just an AoE attack, which, you know, does damage. Nothing really crazy. And let me see, from a rapid spinning wheel, she does a max of 1000% light damage. When skill 2 hits enemy, self damage will be increased by 10%, lasts for 10 seconds. This effect will be shared with teammates inside the domain of truth. Now this is the first instance of that. This is her unique thing. Basically, Heimdall is a unit that acts as a bit of a like a baby Hera type thing, because she's all about like making your teammates stronger and them doing a lot more potential damage. The problem with it is you have to be in a specific bubble with her though, but we will talk about this as we get later on. Anyway, operate the Ring of Reason to deal more damage, and she generates a Domain of Truth when hit, where self skills, dodge, damage, defense, and Aether Codes buffs will be shared with the teammates inside the Domain of Truth generated. So this is again had to do with her Aether Codes. We'll talk about those when we get there, but yeah. Anyway, so her ultimate is Unleashing the Potential, where she increases her own self attack by 1000 and hits enemies with an additional 100% of attack as damage. Just to trigger only every 4.4 seconds, and it lasts for 8 seconds. Okay, not bad. And this will be shared with enemies inside the Domain of Truth generated when self or teammates trigger dodge effect that will gain a set amount of ultimate charge. So essentially, you can buff your team's attack for 1000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Giving them extra attack stat with other applicable buffs, pretty good. And she has a partner with S on Onushi. Now this is actually a really good partner for her, I feel. Onushi is a pretty good effect here. So anyway, so her ultimate skill chain will actually allow it to deal damage, which is good. A little bit more than the regular ult, but she will do physical damage. She will reset Team 3 skill cooldown on hit. Now, there's not too many units that really do want this. Honestly, there's not a lot. I think the only unit I could really think of that has a longer like skill 3 cooldown is probably like S Levi if you're using her as main DPS, or Tsukuyomi, the S version. Probably them, but you really don't care about the skill 3 on cooldown hit. I just don't think you do. But the big bonus here is this right here. Team's extra attack will increase by 1200, making it just a bit more stronger than this. So it is actually recommended that you do run her with early Sakura if you have her. If you have early Sakura, then I actually recommend you pair her up with that. Speaking of, I gotta build mine now because I do actually want to get Heimdall, but I don't know. It's probably gonna be, because she is free, so I'm probably gonna just get the free copies. I'll talk about what I'm gonna do with the banner. I'm gonna just get the free copies and see what I can do with that. But anyway, let's talk about the Aether Codes. So Aether Codes, when skill 1 last hit its enemy, self attack increases by 300. Lasts for 6 seconds. This effect will be shared within the enemies inside the Domain of Truth. The Aether Code, which is a bonus effect, increases by 50%. This is the code right here, essentially. Increases by 50%, so that means it should be a little bit over 450 attack now. And the duration lasts for an additional 2 seconds. Every time buff effects are shared, crit rate of teammates inside the range will increase by 7%. And lasts 10% for every stack, refreshing the stack per 3 stacks. So that's what, 21% crit rate? Okay. So here it is. Dodge effect increases, dodge effect duration increases 2 seconds. The center of skill 1's AoE produce an additional attack, dealing 400% of light damage. This is considered skill damage, and will decrease the light resistance of enemies by 15%, lasting for 5 seconds. Every stack refreshing the duration maximum of 2 stacks. And when under the effects of dodge effect, additional attack damage is increased by 30%. Pretty good. When under the effects of dodge effects, casting skill 1 will produce 2 additional Ring of Reasons to attack enemies. When at their code, this one activated, dodge effect CD decreases by 2 seconds. Okay, not bad. The fact that it generates 2 is actually pretty good though. But anyway, skill 2 decreases by skill second, but skill 2 is on skill scores 2 energy every 2 seconds. So that means she can get 5 energy per 2 seconds. Okay, not bad, not bad. After casting skill 3, automatically set 2 on random side inside the last domain of truth generated every 5 seconds. Skill 2's damage decreases by 60%, but will produce 2 extra attacks. Skill 2 self-damage dealt buff can now stack. Every stack refreshing duration, max of 3 stacks. Every time a buff is shared, obtain 7% ultimate charge. This can be only triggered once per 2 seconds. Now, if you were to ask me, yellow seems to be the more damaging route because this can give you a little bit more attack. This, of course, stacks on top of the ultimate. And, of course, it does give you better crit rate. So I do probably just say you should probably go yellow. You should probably go yellow. This is probably one of the ones where yellow is going to be the winner here. But, yeah. Anyway. So let's go and talk about her functor because her functor is actually something that you want. So let's go and see it right here. So when it comes to a Heimdall, Domain of Truth will last an additional 2 seconds and its size will increase by 25%. This is important because the domain skill of truth isn't that bad, but it really just wants you to be in a certain hole. Like certain units like Hell, for example, really don't care about this because she's, for the most part, stationary. You're gonna get into a good part, get her DG up, and then you're gonna go into the cannon mode. If you get yourself in the domain of truth while cannon, you're fine. But a lot of other units have to be mobile, so having an extra extension point will be good. I think this is a lot better for more ranged units because you don't have to get in the enemy space. If they have to teleport to the other side of the map, you don't have to worry about leaving your domain of truth for the extra benefit. You can be ranged and still hit the enemies and still do general damage. So there's that. And the extra bonus effect of it is inside the domain of truth, you get skill damage up for 8% for each transcendence level. So basically 8% for 2%. So I believe that is 18% at max. And it lasts every 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds, lasting 5 seconds. And each second, well, each stack will refresh the duration, and it's a max of 5 stacks. Really, really good. Honestly, I do think that this is a really, really good functor for an A rank. For an A rank, I think it's really good. So I do actually recommend that you do pick up this functor. 100%. I do recommend that you recommend it. I do recommend that you should try to go for her functor. But there's a caveat here. Do not go for a functor if you're free to play. If you're free to play, then okay. But if you want Heimdall and you don't really want to spend for Athena, good news is she's free. So you could potentially go in there and then pull for the functor, but of course that is potentially 70 pools that you're sinking into the banner, which could be, you know, resources for the next banner character, Oceanus, who is a lot more worth of a pool. So again, so what did we learn from this video today? I'm gonna just say now, Athena is really good if you want to pull for a physical unit. If you want a physical based team, then Athena is probably going to be one of your best options. If you want a decent enough support, I would say go for Heimdall. But this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.